Abidi no tell farmer. Save the soil, you know. Abidi no tell farmer. No tell farmer.
Yeah.
Make our planet better.
Yo,
Planet better.
red worms in the cover crop. Fresh load of some compost. New mulch layer on the top. Let it grow, then we chop and drop those. I don't disturb my soil, no. Through the winter I let that daikon go. Roots penetrate deep and break down. I just feed the soil and take care of
Gromies, we're going to try something a little different. We're going to do a first person. I found this cool chest mount on Amazon, so we're just going to kind of walk you through what I walk through in my garden. So this is the 2x2 kit from AC Infinity. It is for my seedlings. It's all cleaned up, ready to go for the next run. We got a fan in there. We have the T3 humidifier down here that will fill up, and then we got a 100-watt light up top here. Humidifier feeding in through here. Or this is the heater, sorry. We do have a heater in here. The humidifier is actually over here. So that's my thinking when it comes to seedlings, is I want to be able to have a good environment, good temperature. We'll zip that up here. This is the propagation tent. Same thing. It's furnished. It's going to be for cloning and seedlings. This is a little messy here. We just got done with a trim sesh. We just trimmed up the peony glue skies last week and a little bit into this week. They're in there curing right now in the jars. We got the dab station here. We got the trays, the Puffco. We got a camera over here. So every grow room has its own chaos. It may look neat and nice when I'm talking about it, but I just want to show you guys the behind the scenes. So now we're walking into the big garden here. We got the scrog nets here built. We're going to be adding some of them soon. And then we got right here is my nutrient shelf. So you can see we got the Build-A-Soil up here. Huge advocate of Build-A-Soil. I don't use all this stuff repetitively. This stuff has lasted so long. Like this Kashi Bloom, I've had this for a year and a half. The Kashi blend, a year and a half. The craft blend, I buy the 12-pound bag. That's been a year. So all this stuff's going to last you. The root wise here, the 8-ounce bag. This has lasted me over a year now. So all this stuff's really good. It's a little expensive getting started. And by no means do you need to use this stuff, but it works for me in my garden. We got stuff for soil tests down here, so we can actually amend with actual like magnesium sulfate, individual amendments. So if you do a soil test, if you want to get these amendments, and they're going to last you a very, very long time here. So we got my belt here. I wanted the Growers Gauntlet, really cool belt. Huge shout out to Rob, CLTV, and AC Infinity Growers House, Seedsman for sending me to LA. It was a blast. So we got our watering cans down here. That'll be used to fill up our humidifiers. So I like to set mine up on the outside. So you can see we got the humidifier here. That's just going up into this tube, into the top of the tent. And it's the same thing with all my humidifiers. They come up. And then we got this one back here tucked behind the wall. I won't show you that, but it's same concept, and it's running here. You don't ideally want this to run on the light. Sometimes it gets moved on me. So we do have a fan right here that pushes that air around so it's not blowing directly on the lights. So I'm probably going to tinker with that. It's a little too close for my comfort. But we're going to do a first person of what we're doing in here. So this is the Fast Buds GG4 Sherbert. So let me climb in here now. So you can see we got a nice lush canopy, very even. So now what you're going to want to do, now that you're keeping this even canopy, is keep bending stuff down. So we're bending this down. If you can't get it to tuck, that's not a big deal. Just bend it down. You see how it kind of lays down? You don't even need to necessarily super crop anything. So now you can see we got this cluster in here. So what I like to do is pull off some of these fan leaves pointing in. So that's going to uncover other bud sites in here that you can't quite see. So we uncovered this one. We got this little guy over here that's going to be uncovered. So that's all we're going to do here is pull off leaves that could potentially be blocking bud sites. So if you got a very healthy plant, you're not going to hurt them by pulling off these leaves. You could do big defoliations. I like to come in here and kind of look and see what I need to do. I'm not coming in here with a mindset of just pulling everything. I just kind of look and oversee the plant. So I see this one. If we move this one out of the way, we got a couple bud sites down there. So why not pull that off there? It's got other fan leaves that's going to be able to collect nutrients and light and everything. So you can notice that I dropped my leaves down into the bed. This bed is actually getting very full. It's a 30-gallon bed, and it's up to the brim up here. So it's kind of hard to do chop and drop. So we don't know what we're going to do after this grow because it's just full of health. We don't want to till it up. So we're going to we'll keep thinking of what we're going to do here. So back here, while we'll get back in here. So this is a perfect example. See this one that's sticking up here? Now we can bend this down very carefully, pull it through. So now that's bent down and we just filled another square. Same thing with this one here. You can bend this down very carefully and pull it through here. And once you pull it through here, you can decide if you want to pull some leaves. So like this one right here is covering all those new bud sides. You can pull that off there. And now you're unblocking all of these new bud sides because we do have a flat light and it doesn't revolve like the sun does. So that's why we defoliate indoors, is to good for environment practices. You don't want a bunch of humidity in here causing problems, but you also want to be able to get that light to hit your plants. So I'm not going to do too much more here. Like I said, I kind of come in here and just do a little bit here and there. You can attack it all at once, just depending on how your timing is. And I like the way this looks. It's not perfect. You may be able to see some bud sites that are still covered, but we're still in veg. We got plenty of time. So we'll drop that down on our bed here. Let's go over here to the 8x8. We got a lot of green in here. This cover crop is amazing. It's a 9-till forage from Amazon. It's just a simple, easy blend. You can run 5 blend, 6 blend, 9 blend, 11 blend, 50. It don't matter. 13. Just get in here and put some cover crop down. Protect your soil. Get some roots established in here. Create those fungal webs, those bacteria webs. And diversity is always a good thing when you're talking about gardening and no-till, because the more diversity, the more powerful it is, the more it is inclined to put up defensive shields that those microorganisms may have, or that plant may have, to fight off different types of viroids or pest problems. So you can see here, we got the Ricky's hash plant. This one's a little bit taller than this one. So we've been coming in here, and I got some bud clips on me so I could just show you. So this one right here, I couldn't get it to bend without snapping. I was worried it was going to snap. So you can see right here, I super cropped it. We pinched it, we rolled it, we cracked that inner cell. So now this is wobbly. So now we can come in here with our bud clip and slowly still bend it down. And now we got that bend. And like we talked about, you could pull this leaf right here. That's going to open up this whole bud site. We're not going to do a bunch of more bud clips. You can see back here, we did a super crop and we bent this one down. We're just trying to keep it even. You can come in here and kind of just push on these. You don't actually have to super crop anything. Just let them know you're there. You're bending them down. You're creating that new even canopy. Look at all these lowers in here that are going to eventually pop up because we're keeping this even. So now this one over here is a lot more squatty. So what we're going to do here is not bend anything down. We may bend this top down because you do still want that apex to remain even. You don't want this top cola just grow up, because then everything else is going to stay stationary. But if you bend this down, you're allowing all these other nodes to pop up. But we don't want to bend them all down because we're trying to get this even for when we put our scrog screen on there. So we're just going to pull a few leaves. So this one right here, you can see it's pointing in. You take that off of there, and now you got 1, 2, 3 new bud sites. You come down in here, it's a little bit chaotic in there. Pull some off there. And you can notice some burning here. I sprayed some Pyganic with the lights on. I was nervous about mites. I had mites in the other bed a few grows ago. So I just like to keep up on IPM. It's not ideal to spray stuff with the lights on. My schedule just wasn't, it just didn't work out. So we took a risk and got a little bit of burning, but it's not a big deal, especially in veg. They will bounce back, and it's rather to have a little bit of burning than pest problems. So pulling off innards, not bending anything down. Anything you notice that could be a potential nice bud site, go ahead and pull it off there. Like I said, I like to pull things that are facing inwards. This stuff that's facing out, like this one right here, it's facing out. It's not covering anything. But if you come in here and you got this guy right here, if we pull that one off there, now all this is exposed. So we'll pull this one off here since it's encroaching on that. So now we got all this open area here. And we could even pull this big one because there's some back here that are trying to grow up. So we're going to pull that one off of there. That's the main cola there. So we're still bending this down. We can't get a bud clip. It's just too thick. So we're going to super crop it. So you're going to grab it. I don't know if you could hear it. The pinch. And we're rolling it. Slowly bending it down. With these bigger ones, you want to take your time. And we're going to stay up on that. We want to keep bending that down. We want all this to grow up here. So that's the Ricky's hash plant. Let's go over here to the Magic Candy Mountain OG. Very even, very beautiful growth here. And then you can see we got a lot of chaotic big fan leaves in here. So this is what we're talking about. We're pulling off stuff that's covering bud sides, that's pointing in. getting ready for the scrog screen. We're going to be dropping the scrog screen on these girls very soon. But look at this. With the defoliation, we have all these new heads here, full of green, happy, healthy plants. You're not going to hurt these by defoliating, especially if you have good watering practices, good soil, good environment, good lighting. So don't be scared to get in here and do some defoliations. Now, we could clean up down here a little bit more. So my thinking is when you get into flower, you're going to start seeing these stretch up and you don't know what's exactly going to stretch. Now, once you start growing a little bit, you're going to know that some of these, like this right here, is never going to grow up and you can pull that off of there. But don't go too crazy because you don't know how these girls are going to stretch. So we got our top cola here. We're going to super crop it. Oh, I already had a super crop there. Don't super crop in the same spot. It's just too much stress. You're creating too much damage with that cell. So move up a couple inches. You know, just you can do the same branch. Just move in a different spot. So we're just going to bend that down because we did come in here and do a little bit of maintenance last night. Pulling off here. So I'm really liking this. Like I said, we don't want to go too crazy in veg. We don't know where these are going to end up. We just want to be able to keep the good environment, good airflow in here and create new tops. This one right here, not as leafy, but still we got some we could pull off here. Pulling off some of these. And we're not really bending anything down because it's pretty even for the most part. You could bring it down just a little bit if you're really worried about it. But I think when we put this scrog screen on here, see, we're pinching and rolling this one just to get it down a little bit. There we go. So now she's laying down. We got new bud sites exposed. We're pulling off inners. And I know this is repetitive, guys, but it's just really what I do in my garden. I'm not telling you have to do this. We're doing a walkthrough and I'm telling you why I'm doing certain things. And I've had very good success. So back here in the tray to grow, we got the tank here. We just fill it up with water and it's going to feed through this. And there's a capillary mat underneath that these roots will wick and pull water up. And it's going to allow for those roots not to grow down into your water and allow for a bunch of root rot and mushy roots. So it's a really, really neat system. And you can see it's starting to spread out, do its thing. This is the main cola here. We could get that down a little bit. So we're going to go with a little super crop, pinching, rolling, bending her down. We're going to pull this one right here. Since it's blocking this new stuff, we could get that one down a little bit here. Pull off maybe this guy here. So really easy peasy. This is my nightly routine, Gromies, or even weekly because I'm on the road for work a lot, so I don't get in here a lot. So this is all I'm doing. I come in here, I look at my plants, I do a defoliation, I'm filling my humidifiers, we're dumping dehumidifiers. And what I do for my dehumidifier, I want to get a drain installed, but this is just a simple dehumidifier, and I ran it was just a dryer or a washer hose, and I ran it into a kitty litter bucket. That takes a few days to fill up, and then we dump that out in the sink. So filling humidifiers, dumping dehumidifiers. We did our defoliation on the GG4, the Rickies, the Magic Candy Mountain OG. So let's go over here to the only tent that's in flower. And this is a self-training plant. And what I mean that, Gromies, is I'm a huge scrogger, and we have not had to put a scrog on this at all. We've done a few bit of training, but not much at all. So this is really exciting for me. I will be running this again because I love training, but if I don't have to train and it trains itself, it's a win-win. I mean, look how beautiful and lush this is. This is a 3x3 from Spider Farmer. So all we're doing here now, same thing, pulling off leaves. Now it's going to be more chaotic in here because we are in flower and we've let these go a little bit, but I won't keep you for the whole thing. We're still not getting underneath the canopy too much. You can see underneath here, we could pull some of that, but we're just going to wait a little bit longer. We're going to get in a stretch here soon. This is ending week 1 of flower. So we're going to let it stretch a little bit before we start going too crazy with the cleanup. But we are pulling big buds or big fan leaves to uncover other bud sites. So I hope you guys like this new view. Let me know if you like the first person. I thought it was a pretty cool idea so I could actually get in here and not just ramble on and talk a bunch and explain the same thing. So now we're going to get more hands-on. We're going to show you what we're actually doing in the garden every time that we get on YouTube. And it's going to be really fun, Gromies. So leave your comments below. Subscribe to the channel. We really appreciate you guys. And we're going to clean this up a little bit more. Like I said, pulling off big fan leaves, cleaning up bud sites. Environment's on point here. Since we're week 1 of flower, we're about 78 degrees Fahrenheit and about 65% humidity, which will drop slowly as the weeks go on, eventually getting down to 50% humidity in late in flower. We got the Spider Farmers up there. We got about 1,500 watts of lights up there, and they're rocking about 550 ppfd, 78 degrees Fahrenheit, and 70% humidity. Same thing over here, 550 ppfd. We got the 78 degrees and 70% humidity, so I like to keep that veg VPD as long as possible. When I say VPD, that vapor pressure deficit, the calculation of your temperature, humidity, and you ain't got to be perfect on that, but keep your humidity up, keep your temperatures in the mid 70s, even the mid 80s if you can get it. I'm in a basement, so I can get 78 while still getting good humidity. If I get it any higher, my humidity drops and we start having problems. So you can see how green and healthy everything is. Looking great. Environment is everything. Watering practice is everything. You get those down and you're going to crush it, Gromies. Add a little training session, a couple scrog screens. Check out the channel. We showed you guys how to make scrog screens. Check out the Northern Scrogger. He is the king of scrog. He showed me my way. So until next time, Gromies, fifth kid all dimension. Cannabis Luke out. Much love.
I be the no-till farmer. Save the soil, you know. I be the no-till farmer. No-till farmer.
Yeah.
Make our planet better.
Yo,
Planet better.
red worms in the cover crop. Fresh load of some compost. New mulch layer on the top. Let it grow, then we chop and drop those. I don't disturb my soil, no. Through the winter I let that daikon go. Roots penetrate deep and break down. I just feed the soil and take care of